Level 3, Ultimate Secrets of the Magic Deck. Here are the final secrets of the Magic Deck. In Level 2, I told you that the force cards were marked in the center. But the force cards aren't the only cards that are marked. The different cards are marked too. And they are marked at the corners. Take a look. Here you can see markings. These markings, they inform you of the value and the suit of each card. So for instance, the back represented here would be the back of the 9 of spades. You see a 9 here and a S, so 9 of spades. Here would be 7 and a D, so it would be the 7 of diamonds. 2 and the H, the 2 of hearts. 4 and C, 4 of clubs. And because they are marked in opposite corners, you can read the mark here. I can read it here. And if I turn this, I can read it here, same way, and you can read it here in the opposite corner. Now, let's see the marks in action. So, as you remember, the force cards, they have a darker shade in the center. So this is a force card, clearly by comparison. Force card. This is an indifferent card, and I can see there's a 4 and a C, it's the 4 of clubs. Force card, and now I can see it's a 2 and the H, it's a 2 of hearts. Force card. And here is the 7 of diamonds and the force card, and the 3 of clubs and the force card, and so on through the entire deck. There is one more secret hidden in the deck, but I will reveal that when we get to the trick that uses it. First, let's learn some advanced techniques, ways to handle the magic deck that will fool professional magicians. Level 3 techniques. Overhand shuffle. This is a very convincing shuffle. It looks like I'm shuffling the cards, and in fact I am, but I'm also keeping the cards in pairs. I can shuffle, but the cards still stay in alternating force card in different card order. Here is the technique. The deck is held at the short ends between the fingers and the thumb. The deck is facing the spectators. When the thumb draws the cards from the face of the deck, it extends to the upper long edge of the cards. Then it pulls down and slides a few cards off into the waiting hand. Amazingly, the cards will naturally break just behind the force card. It's nothing you really have to think about. It just works. Look. Every second card is a force card. The thumb draws a few cards each time into the hand, and you will only see indifferent cards. The force cards remain hidden. Even if you see one of the force cards, that's fine, because after all, the force card, it's part of the deck. But usually, it will just work like that. And that speed would be something like this. And always you end up with every second card being the force card. And that's the power of the overhand shuffle. Level 3 techniques, the tap. Here is a little tip when using the magic deck. Every now and then, tap the short end of the deck against the table like this. It settles the short cards in position and guarantees that they do not show when using any of the techniques described, whether it is the overhand shuffle or any of the displays where the cards face the spectators. Don't overdo it. Once per trick is enough. It's particularly useful before you riffle shuffle the deck. Tapping the deck to square it looks very natural, but really it is helping you to give a better performance. And yes, you will still keep the every second order for the force card. So keep this in mind. Level 3, swing false cut. This is a useful technique if you want to retain the order of the entire deck. It looks like you are cutting the deck, but really this is a false cut. Take a look. We can check it by looking at the bottom card. It's the Queen of Hearts. It looks like this to cut the deck. And yet, it's still the Queen of Hearts. The original card is at the bottom, and in fact, every card is in the same order it began. To do it, you use the forefinger to pick up the upper half of the deck. And then swing it into the waiting hand. Then you tap the other half against it before dropping that half on the table. Finish by picking up what was the top half and dropping it on top of the tabled portion. Not a single card has changed position. Done quickly and casually, it's very deceptive, and we'll be using it in one of the effects described later. And yes, the order is still the same. There we have our force card every second in the entire deck. Level 3 techniques. Strip out. I love this technique. The original one was devised by Jason Fields, and it enables you to secretly separate all the force cards from the indifferent cards. In this deck, the force cards are red on the back and the indifferent cards are blue on the back, so you can follow in a better way the separation that I'm about to explain. Actually, I'm going to explain 3 different methods to accomplish the strip out. The first method is on the table. As you casually are playing with the deck, you just drop it and lift it with the right hand in this manner. You see, I just stripped out all the indifferent cards. The way it works is because when you drop the deck, the cards separate a little bit, some air appears in between all of them, and now with the third finger and thumb, just by grabbing the edges, and since the indifferent cards are longer than the force cards, you can just slowly lift them and the force cards will drop on the table till the moment where this hand, with the middle finger and thumb, grab the force cards in the bottom, like this, and now you are ready to accomplish the strip out. And here you'll have all the indifferent cards, and here you'll have all the force cards. This is the first method. And in order to explain you the second method, I would like to share with you something that I learned. It's called milking. And it's a way to quickly reset the deck, which is you put long cards on the bottom, short cards on the top, let's say force cards, and now you just grab one from the top, one from the bottom together and put them on the table. And this way you guarantee that you are resetting the deck in the most quick, efficient and surefire way. The second method to accomplish the strip out, it's in the hand. For that, you grab the deck in this manner, where the middle finger and the little finger work as a table. So between these 2 points, it's where the deck settles, like if it was on the table, but now in here, like this. And you do the same thing. The right hand approaches and grabs the deck by the short edges, and you lift the deck, you drop the deck a couple of times. The curled forefinger on the left hand holds the cards so they don't fall like this, okay? And now you just do this 1 or 2 times and it's done. The strip out is ready for you to take it away, and again, this time on your hands, separate indifferent cards from force cards. And again, I will reset. The third method to strip out the deck is if you hold it again in your left hand, using your middle finger and pinky as a table to hold the deck horizontal, and the curled forefinger of your left hand to hold the cards like this. If you bevel the deck in this way and now bring it back in position, automatically there is air in between the cards. And now it's almost automatic. Then with your right hand you can take away all the indifferent cards and leave all the force cards. Now, of course, you should do this not paying attention. This is that kind of move that you just do while you are talking, and as you are talking, you just do your get ready, and suddenly when you feel you are ready, you can simply pretending you are cutting the deck and getting ready for your next trick. And with this move, you have just accomplished the fact that you separate all the force cards from the indifferent cards. And that's the strip out. The strip out, it's a very advanced technique. You don't have to do it openly. You can do it casually while you are talking and seemingly toying with the deck. Don't make a big thing out of it. Just do it when no one is paying attention to the deck or your hands. Master the strip out and you can consider yourself a true card ninja. Level 3 techniques. Strip out spread. If you mastered the strip out, you can use it to display the deck face up on the table. Again, I'll be using this magic deck where the force card is the 8 of spades. Every second card is the 8 of spades. And just so we all can follow it better, I also marked very clearly all the force cards. They are the red ones. Force card, indifferent card, force card, indifferent card, all throughout the deck in proper magic deck order. Now, prepare yourself to do the strip out, any of the 3 methods, on the table, on your hand, or beveling the deck. So, once you are ready with the strip out almost halfway done, at this position where the groups of cards are separating approximately 2.5 centimeters, like this, you prepare yourself to do a spread on the table. And this is actually what will happen. Not one single force card is showing. The audience only sees indifferent cards. The force cards are all jogged to one side and hidden below the indifferent cards. It's a very convincing display. It is best used in a casual manner. You might want to begin your trick like this. Leave the cards spread face up across the table as you talk. Then scoop them up and begin your performance. Level 3 techniques: strip out, fan force. This is another use for the strip out, but first I need to teach you how to make a nice fan of cards. Again, I'm using that deck of cards, the magic deck, where the force card is the 8 of spades, every second card. And again, when you look from the back, the force cards are red and the indifferent cards are blue. Let's use this deck to explain how to do a fan. So you hold the cards on your right hand between the thumb and the middle finger. Now you pass them onto the left hand, but make sure that your left thumb touches the deck on what would be, for your point of view, the down right corner, this one. And you grab it here, because later this is going to be where the thumb applies pressure against the forefinger in order to create here a pivot point for the fan to form. Now, once you are in this position, the right hand, better said, the right thumb, the hand just holds the deck, but the thumb will apply pressure on the up left corner, again from your point of view, and will, in a clockwise movement, spread all the cards that are pivoting on the point where the thumb applies the pressure against the forefinger of the left hand. So you should do this several times. You will gain speed, make nicer fans. You can do them looking at the spectator. You can do them horizontally over the table, and you will find your own way of doing this presentation. Once you know how to do fans, now we go into the strip out fan force. Again, you can tell by the name that it involves a strip out, like this, the one we have just learned. So once you are in the position of the indifferent cards being halfway stripped out of the deck and the force cards separated approximately 2.5 centimeters out jogged, what you do is the same thing I said before, which was this thumb is going to be the pivot point. So again, in the same place, forget about these cards. This is where we talked before, that do the pivot point, same place. You do the same thing. You come with your right hand and the thumb applies pressure here and opens like this. Well, if you realize now, there are no force cards being shown here. It's all indifferent cards. But if you realize, there are little corners coming out here. Well, all these little corners are actually of force cards, which we can make sure that I'm telling you the truth by turning away the fan. And it's all the red cards. Once you have the strip out, you do your fan like this. And you can now realize that with the exception of this card here, there are no force cards. So you can show it's a normal deck of cards and they are all different. But all the little corners of cards you see here, they are actually force cards, meaning that here we only see red backs. And all the corners coming out are from red cards. So I can hold the fan and say, I'm going to pass my finger, and whenever you want, please say stop. Whatever they say, you can ask them if they want to change their mind. Are you sure you want to stop here or the previous one? Or maybe the next one or the next one. And if they say, no, no, this one, no, no, the previous one, you say, sure. You come here and you clearly take out the card they picked. And it will always be a force card. It's very useful. But you can also do something completely different. Imagine that for some reason you would like to show to your audience, or specifically to one single spectator, that for some reason you want him to name a card, and if you want to do a kind of an instant stooge situation, you can do the same thing, but instead, once you do the strip out, instead of making the fan like this and all the cards are different, you would do the fan in a different way, which would be, in this case, you have the strip out, and now you turn the deck over and you do the fan like this. So if you would like to show this to a spectator, you can say something like, you can rearrange the cards slightly. You can say, okay, please think about one card, any card. And you will only be looking at the force card. And again, when you close, you are ready to go as you were before. It's still the Magic Deck, undisturbed order. And this is the first time this secret has ever been revealed. Practice it well. Level 3 techniques. Deck switch. Wouldn't it be good to switch the Magic Deck for a regular deck? That way, when you have finished your performance, the deck can be handled by the spectators should they wish. To do that, we need to learn a deck switch. We are back with our Magic Deck with the blue backs, and where, in my case, the force card is the 10 of hearts. You can buy a matching deck from the online magic supplier Card Shark. The brand of the deck you are looking for is Phoenix. Get one that is the same color as the Magic Deck and also the same back design. Take out the card that matches your force card. In this case, the 10 of hearts. Then place the regular deck in your jacket pocket, ready to be switched at the end of your performance. The best time to switch the deck is as part of the routine, the card from pocket you learned in level 1. It is a good example of a trick that will cover the deck switch. Using the Magic Deck, have a card chosen. This will be the force card, 10 of hearts. Get the force card lost in the deck through a series of cuts and shuffles, and then announce you will find the card by touch alone. Drop the deck into the same pocket as the regular deck. If the regular deck is lying horizontal in the pocket, set the Magic Deck so it is vertical. This way, the two decks will not coalesce. Ask the spectator to concentrate on the chosen card. Show your hand empty, reach into your pocket, and then pull out a card from the regular deck. It can be any card. Place it face up on the table saying, "It's not this one." Reach into the pocket again and take out another card from the regular deck and place it face up on the table saying, "It's not this one." Reach in a third time and take the top card of the Magic Deck. You already know this will be the force card. Place it face down on the table and say, it's this one. Don't reveal the face of the card as yet. Instead, reach into the pocket and remove the regular deck. Spread it face up on the table and say, it's none of these. Ask the spectator to name his chosen card. He does so, and you turn the one face down card to show you are right. The chosen card. As you gather everything and you lose the chosen card in the deck, you now have a full deck of cards on the table which can be examined. There is a bonus. Your force card is inside this regular deck, and it is shorter than all the other cards. In Magic, this is known as short card, and it can be used in lots of different tricks. You find lots of tricks using short cards in Magic books like Jean Hugard's Encyclopedia of Card Tricks, which is a great place to start. Remember, short card, lost in the deck, and yet always very easy to find again. Level 3 techniques, half deck switch. The goal here is to switch all the force cards by the equivalent number in regular cards. The force cards here are marked as red ones. There are tricks in which you finished performing and already reached a position in which the deck is divided into two halves. One half is the indifferent cards, and the other half is composed by all the force cards. There is an easy way to switch the force cards for half a deck of regular cards. These two halves form a complete deck of 52 different cards. And for this, you will need some extra cards. The cards forming your Magic deck, they are Phoenix, and regular decks can be purchased at the Card Shark website. Now, this is the deck you want to switch. It's on the table together with the other half. Now, the packet you want to switch in should be hidden at this time. And this switch is best performed while you are seated at the table. So this packet should be hidden under your leg, between the leg and the chair where you are sitting. Then, at a certain point, you grab all the force cards from the table, and of course you can easily grab the new pack, the new half deck. When you are in this position, your performance arrived to the end, probably you left the selection on the table, and while people are talking or otherwise, just relax. They will be distracted, and you can take the packet of force cards below the table onto your lap. Now, your hand at this point will pick up the packet that is trapped under your leg, brings it back on the table, and sets it down next to the packet already there. All the cards on the table are now indifferent cards and can be examined if necessary. Never ask people to examine the cards. Such an invitation would inspire suspicion. Leave the cards on the table so that if they want to examine, they can. Of course, on the half that you just brought on top of the table should not be the force card, which of course remained on the table from the end of the previous trick. Now, altogether, this half of indifferent cards together with this half of indifferent cards, they will form a complete deck. And in between, you have the chosen card from the previous deck, the Magic deck, and with the great advantage that is a short card. And we know what we can do with the short card. Level 3 techniques, encore. deck switch. This is even a simpler switch. You need a duplicate ungimmicked deck. The Magic Deck is made from Phoenix cards and you can buy them from Card Shark website. Have this deck in its box, in your jacket pocket or bag. When you have finished performing with the Magic Deck, place it in its box and place the box away inside your pocket or bag. If anyone asks you to do some more magic, accept and take out the ungimmicked deck and do a card trick with those. This will make everyone think that all the previous tricks were done with the same deck. There are lots of card tricks using ordinary cards, but since this is a new deck in play for the first time, it is a good opportunity to take advantage of what magicians call a prearranged deck. Prearranged decks, while consisting of 52 regular cards, enable you to perform some extraordinary mysteries. Once again, Jean Hugard's Encyclopedia of Card Tricks is a good place to begin your research. It even contains a chapter devoted to tricks with prearranged deck. Well, a final tip is once you finish your previous effect with the Magic Deck, make sure before you put it away inside the box that you leave your force card, in my case the Ten of Hearts, you leave it on the bottom. Because once you put the deck and then later remove the new deck, the fact that they are familiar with this card might help creating the certainty that this has been the deck used all along. And no, you are now ready for some more miracles. Find the card. Welcome to the Level 3 collection of effects. The first plot that we revisit for the third time is Find the Card. And now we will be using the fan force that you have just learned. Although your Magic Deck looks like this, with blue back, whatever force card it has, we'll be using this other one where we can spot exactly where the force cards are because they are with a red back. So in order to use the fan force to find the card, you can ask a spectator to actually locate the card by freely choosing one that the first one chose. So, as you know now, you need to start by stripping out the cards. Once you are in this position, just make sure that they are separated by 2 or 3 centimeters. Then you do the fan. As you learn, you put your thumb here and then you just fan. You might even arrange a little bit so it's nicer. And notice that you will need to do 2 things. First of all is to check that you did it right by having these 2 layers of cards. So you see one layer of cards here and another layer of cards there. Because all the force cards are side-jogged, a concept that was first explored by Alex Elmsley. The other thing you need to do is to make sure that the only single card that would show from this side, force card, because it's the 8 of spades in this deck, needs to be covered. And now you are ready to go. Realize that once I turn the fan, you will only see red back cards. That's exactly what the spectators will see. All force cards, although you can clearly show the face of the fan and they all look different. So at this stage, you just turn the backs of the cards to the spectator, the second spectator. You had one chosen a card, you lost the card, and the second spectator is going to tell you stop as you pass your finger along the cards. It doesn't matter where the spectator stops you, you are always touching a corner of the force card. Although, here, you see they are all in different cards. So, it is very important that once the spectator stops you, let's say here, that you emphasize that this is really a free choice. So you can say, you want this one or this one, or maybe that one. because now we narrow the choices to these specific options here, and it's very important that he doesn't feel that you are somehow convincing him to go one way or the other. This one or that one? This one? Okay. So do not cover, because that will look like you are taking some other card, and you will actually take out this one, the same one that spectator just chose. So clearly, with the tip of your fingers, start extracting the card. And this will match the card previously chosen, because yes, it's the fourth card. In this case, the 8 of spades. And this is how you find the card on the third level. Ambitious card. On previous levels, we shared with you different takes on this classical plot of card magic known as the ambitious card, where the magician creates the illusion that the chosen card constantly rises to the top. What I'd like to share with you now, it's a finish, a spectacular finish for any ambitious card routine. And I strongly advise you to come up with different ways of combining this very classical plot. A chosen card rises to the top. And at the end, you can always finish with this ending that involves an expert card technique, which I saw firstly being used on a routine presented by Mr. Pearl from South Korea. And it goes like this. Once you have done several demonstrations of the chosen card rising to the top, you announce that now the spectator will be doing it by himself. In order to prepare that, the only thing you need to do is to start by cutting down the deck, which means this way, and you will make sure that a duplicate of the selected card will be now on the bottom position. Clearly, you show that the card is now placed in the middle, visibly, clearly. You can even leave it like that and then arrange it later. Now you place the other half on top. You lose the card, and you announce to the spectator that the only thing he needs to do is to actually snap his fingers and the card will rise. Well, very enthusiastically, the spectator does that, hoping that it works. You invite him to check it. He does so, and no, it didn't work. Well, you might find an excuse by saying, oh, you snap your fingers too hard, and what happened is that the card came to the bottom, which is equally surprising, and will get an applause. At this moment, you will prepare the big finish of whatever routine you are doing of ambitious card. As you collect from the table the indifferent card, you will be adjusting the deck, squaring it up. On the action of squaring the deck up, you make sure that your left forefinger is touching the bottom card in this way. So here is the selection. And you do not leave this card. You keep your finger stuck to that card. And now if you move the deck, this is what will happen to the bottom card. You will end up bending it slightly. And that's the preparation you need for the big finish. Once you did that, you just turn your deck over, always applying pressure on the top card so no one suspects that it has been bent just a moment ago. And now you call attention to the selection on the table. And you announce that, well, in order for us to actually follow the card with no doubts, let's make a mark. Let's bend them slightly. This way we'll always be able to recognize the chosen card. And having said this, you cut on the table half of the deck, always applying this pressure so this doesn't happen. Okay. You place the bent card, which is the selection, and you cover it like that. You square everything, never release this finger. You squared everything, and now you are ready to the big finish. You hold the deck between thumb and forefinger like this, and you are ready to actually release the top card, and the audience will visibly see the chosen card just arriving to the top. This, it's very important and very visual. Be ready to release the card even without clearly moving your fingers. Yes, it is the chosen card. And this makes a beautiful ending for any ambitious card routine. Mark Shark deck. The time has come and the moment is now right for me to share with you the third secret of the magic deck. Actually, you have seen this before. This represents the magic deck where the force card, wherever it might be your force card, is in gray and always occupying every odd position, and the indifferent cards are identified and occupied every even position. Well, these indifferent cards, they are not exactly indifferent. They have been carefully chosen, and they are the exact 26 cards that are used on the first half of Juan Tamariz Mnemonica prearranged deck. This will come in very useful right now. Well, the first thing you should consider is to actually learn mnemonica. You should memorize every position and every card that occupies that corresponding position. And that will allow you to perform many, many miracles, even with a normal deck. What you're about to learn, it's a miracle that was originally devised by Mark Elson and Christian Schenk from Card Shark and marketed as the Mark Shark deck. The effect is that the magician chooses a card, but it's the spectator that will find it by naming any number between 1 and 52. So the first thing, of course, is that your magic deck needs to be prearranged in this exact order, which you can check now. First is an indifferent card. Card number 2, it's the 4 of clubs. Card number 3, it's an indifferent card. The 4th card is the 2 of hearts. The 6th card is the 7 of diamonds. The 8th card is the 3 of clubs, and so on till card number 52, the King of diamonds. At this moment, you can false cut the deck, even false shuffle the deck, but you need to keep the cards in this order. So if you want a false cut, we have discussed it before, and once you put the deck on the table, the spectator will cut anywhere, and you will see a card. Spectator cuts, and you, the magician, you reach in and you grab a card. In this case, because he cut and I will always have a force card on the cut, I get the 10 of hearts. But you don't memorize this. You don't care about the identity of this card, because the identity of your chosen card will actually be decided later once the spectator chooses a number for you. So you take the card, you pretend to memorize the identity of the card, you put it back, and the spectator closes the deck like that. Now, apparently, you have a card which identity no one knows. The spectator, the same spectator or other spectator in the room, will call out a number, any number between 1 and 52. Once they call the number, you'll find the card. Now, it's the moment where you find out what is the number that you need to drop the information about the identity of your card. So let's imagine they say 24. Well, you know that 24 is always, as long as the magic deck is set up in this order, always is the 3 of diamonds. So let's imagine that spectator said 24, and you go, wow, do you think that my 3 of diamonds, the card I just saw, it's at 24? Are you sure? That is really amazing. So you really think 24? I cannot believe. And it's in this action of surprise that you kind of drop the information that it's the 3 of diamonds. And now you go to confirm it. So you count to the table till the 24th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24th card. Well, of course, due to the markings, you can double check you are correct. And I'm just seeing here 3D, which means that my deck was properly arranged. It was everything in order, yeah? 3 of diamonds. and I can say, wow, it's incredible. I cannot explain how you knew that my card, the card that only I knew, was exactly on the 24th position. And that is the Mark Shark deck. Oh, one more thing. Something that will make this trick even more impossible. You should know that anytime you want, you can cut and complete this deck. You can cut and complete as many times as you want because this order is cyclical. So you will never disturb the order, only the place where it starts and where it ends. So when you give the deck to the spectator, the first thing you can tell him to do is actually to cut and complete. Then he will ask you to take a card and see the card, put it back. Now he can cut and complete again. And so can you, while you wait to ask the spectator to name any number. The only thing you should do is that before the spectator tells the number, you already finished touching the deck. So this increases the magic moment. So in this case, right now, if I look at the bottom, I will see a 5 of spades. And I need, when I leave the deck, to leave it exactly in this position. Let's say the 4 of hearts being the second card and the 52nd card being the King of Diamonds. So in order to do so, it's very simple. You just need to riffle through the cards till you find the King of Diamonds. And as you can see, that is quite easy because you can instantly find, and even if it passes, you can grab it again, the King of Diamonds. In this position, you cut and complete, and you leave the deck. You leave the deck with card 52 being the King of Diamonds. And now you are ready to produce the miracle. Impossible location. We have discussed a couple of impossible location ideas, but now on level 3, we will really make the impossible. So remember that with your magic deck there's one extra forcing card. Well, probably you will need more, but you know, you can get normal decks of cards. They are Phoenix, you can get them at Card Shark website. So impossible location in this case will involve a little proof that we are talking about the same card that vanished from one place and appeared, yes, at an impossible location. The first thing you need to do is to prepare the card that will appear and decide what is going to be that impossible location. But whatever it is your choice, this is the preparation. Start by tearing one of the corners of the card. Don't do it in a very straight way. Make like some curves so it's easily identifiable later that this piece of card really matches the rest of the card. There's no doubt that this piece is from here. So there are two things you'll need to do. You'll need to change this piece, and you will need to place this card in the impossible location. But since you are doing that before the show, you have all the time in the world. You can fold this card and place it inside the pineapple. You can put it behind the glass. You can put it inside the wallet of someone. The limit is your imagination. Just choose a really impossible location because with the corner, it will look like a miracle. So, let's now see how do you swap the little corner. I have the little corner before inside the card box, but we'll do it with the transparent card box so you can see actually what happens. So this is inside the card box, which is on the table. This would be what people see, the card box as you are performing a trick. This, it's already in the impossible location. Let's imagine for now that the impossible location is my pocket, so we get it out of the way. Yes, you'll be able to see through the box because we are using this box. So, now you get a card chosen. Of course, it's going to be the 10 of hearts, you can see the card, and you tell the spectator that you will do something really special with this card. So you will tear a corner of the chosen card in a similar manner that you did when you prepared the other card, and this is the result. Now, you say that you are going to keep this corner, which is proof that this is actual card that was chosen by the spectator, in a safe place. Let's say inside the box. Yes. So you open the box like this, and you say, let's keep this corner of your chosen card so we don't forget inside the box. And with the lid vertical, you pretend you put it inside the box, but actually you put it behind the box, and your forefinger holds it. So it would be something like this. If the audience is looking from here, I would go, let's put the corner inside the box. And it's there. Now, you can close it. You can leave it on your hand. And now, leave it on the table. And with this, you just swapped the corner of the card, which now matches the other prepared card, the one that currently is in my pocket, but that you will have placed in an impossible location. Now, in order to get rid of this little piece, it's very simple. As you go to your pocket to grab something, or as you relax your hands on the table, you just drop it on your lap, and that's it. Then we focus again on the chosen card. And again, imagination is your limit. You can, for example, tear the card in multiple pieces, and you can burn the pieces. That's one option. The other option would be to, let's say, take your friends to the toilet at home and put them on the toilet and flush the toilet. They will be gone. And then the reappearance of the card will be even more spectacular. Many ideas, you get rid of these pieces. Then, once you get rid of them, you are ready to produce the card or to reveal the card from that impossible location that, in this case, we just agree would be my pocket. Not a very good idea, the pocket, but it's just so we can continue the explanation. Once you produce the card from the impossible location, the audience will doubt if it is or not the exact same card the spectator chose a while ago. And they will think it's a duplicate. Well, actually they are correct, but we are ready to prove otherwise. Because at the beginning, we took away a corner and we left it in a safe place. Yes, the card box. So, of course, the audience will check, and there will be lots of anticipation to actually see if this is the card that the spectator chose at the beginning. And the proof of that would be that this corner would fit perfectly. And I believe we are ready to demonstrate exactly that. And this, it's an amazing version of Card to an Impossible Location. Pendulum. On previous levels, we have explored the use of the pendulum in some great routines, but now that you have learned some advanced techniques, we go to produce real miracles. Your magic deck has a blue back, but in order to make everything easier to follow, I prepared this magic deck where the force cards, which in this case is the 8 of spades, are with a red back. So now we can always see which card we are looking at. Now, for this use of the pendulum, we'll combine several techniques. We'll combine the strip out, we'll combine the table spread, and reversing the table spread. Start with the strip out. Once you arrive to 2 to 3 centimeters of separation between the two parts, you prepare yourself to do a table spread like this. As you can see, because the force cards are side jogged, you cannot see any of them. You cannot see the 8 of spades, which is the fourth card in this deck. But now we will reverse this spread. In order to reverse it, you cannot just come here and grab the 5 and go. No, it wouldn't work, because you would leave behind one of the 4 cards. So in order for it to work, when you come with your fingers under the spread, you actually need to make sure that you are touching the last of the side-jogged 4 cards, which I am now. The other thing that is important is that you will ride the spread till the end in order for the reversing to be perfect. So watch. As you can see, only 4 cards are now available to be chosen once we pass the pendulum over the spread, because each of the indifferent cards are hidden under those 4 cards. So the spectator holds the pendulum and we ask him to go through the deck. And whenever he feels like, whenever the pendulum manifests itself, they will feel it and they will know they should stop there. Leave space for things to happen. Leave space for the spectator to imagine whatever they want. And believe me, at a certain point they will be sure that they should choose this card, for example. And the card they touch is the card they will actually remove from the spread. So if this would have been the card chosen by the spectator, look what happens. You take the card, exactly that card. This is the most free choice they can have, passing a pendulum on a spread. And still, we accomplished what we want. The spectator freely chose the 4th card. Elimination. Here is a routine we have explored on previous levels, but now with an interesting twist. As usually, you ask the spectator to call out stop. He will choose the 4th card, 10 of hearts in this case. You lose the card in the deck, you can cut, and you can shuffle. As you remember, in a previous level we discussed a routine where the spectator places a ring on top of one of 2 packets. And through a series of eliminations, you'll end up with just 4 cards, eventually 2 cards, and then eventually exactly the 4th card. Now, during that procedure, as you eliminate, you should always remember to leave the cards facing up, so the audience is exposed to different values of cards. You keep cutting in half and you eliminate the ones that they say, but there is one moment where you will end up probably with 4 cards. And this is the situation where you can use this twist I would like to share with you now. In this situation, you have one pair in one hand and the other pair in the other hand. Of course, this pair is composed of an indifferent card and the 4th card. I can see from here that is the 8 of hearts, the indifferent card, yes, and the 10 of hearts is the 4th card. In this case is the King of Diamonds and the 10 of hearts, yes. Okay, so in this situation what you want to do is to turn to a different spectator from the one that has been eliminating the piles. And as you bring your hands together, what you will do is you'll pass this 4th card, which is on top of the pair of the left hand, swap it with the indifferent card on the bottom of the pair of the right hand. And see, if you bring your hands together, now the only thing you need to do is your left thumb pinches this card, and underneath with your middle finger you pinch the 4th card. And now you separate. I'll do it very slowly so you can see what's happening. Everything looks the same, but now you have 2 4th cards here and 2 indifferent cards here. So once again, this is the situation. As you bring your hands together and separate them again, you do this switch. You look to the second spectator and you ask him to touch one of these packets. If it touches this packet, you immediately proceed to putting these two cards on top here. If it touches this packet, you say, okay, and you put it here, because they will fill in the blanks. They know that up till this moment, the spectator was pointing to the cards he wants to eliminate. So if he touches this, you eliminate. You don't need to remark that. You don't need to emphasize that. You just say, okay, and you continue naturally. So one or the other way, now you are in a situation where you will give these two cards to this spectator. You ask him to hold one card in each hand. While he's doing that, you immediately grab the cards on the table and you turn them face down. Now you ask very openly. You say, you have the final decision. Just give me the card you would like to eliminate. Very clear, because honestly, it can give you either one. They are both the force card. So you ask him, give me the card you'd like to eliminate. He gives you the card, you place it here, and now you are ready for the revelation. So again, the reason why at this point and while he's in the situation of holding the two cards, the reason why you take the deck and turn it face down, it's because you have been depositing all the eliminated cards on the table. And you could not do the same thing as before with this one without revealing there's a chosen card like the one is going to show up later. So what you do is you are one step ahead, you grab the deck, you turn it face down, and the moment he decides which one he wants to eliminate, you just grab it and place it here, and then leave the deck aside. You are ready to finish the trick and completely clean, because you say, you have chosen, you have eliminated the packs you want, you have clearly chosen that card. What was your card? Oh, 10 of hearts? Yes, it's the 10 of hearts. Instant connection. In this routine, you will ask a spectator to freely choose a card, and the second spectator will actually find out what's the identity of the card. Of course, you start by forcing the card to the first spectator, and then you need to deliver the information of the identity of the card to the second spectator. You do that in front of everyone without everyone noticing except that spectator. And you will have so much fun that you will never tell the secret to anyone. What in magic is called an instant stooge. And it works like this. Once you have your card chosen, let's say forced, you start getting ready to actually inform the second spectator about the identity of that card. In order to do so, you will need to use the strip out and the fan force. But we will use it in a different way than before. You will combine several techniques. First, let me tell you that I'm going to be using this magic deck where the force cards are red on the back. You start doing the cut down. Anywhere, you cut and you complete. This means that you are able to bring to the bottom position the force card. Then you'll need to execute a strip out. Whatever method you prefer, you do the strip out till the moment where the cards are separated 2 to 3 centimeters. Now, if I would do the fan from this position, all the cards showing would be indifferent cards. But if I turn this around and if I pivot the cards on this point here and I make the fan from here, only forcing cards will be showing. Let me show you. You need to arrange the last card, and in this position, you show the deck to the spectator, to the second spectator, asking him, please look at the cards, and probably there will be one that will stick to your mind. As you do this, you can wink at the spectator, but of course being in a position that no one else in the room would notice. He will know exactly what you are telling him. You are basically telling him that once asked, he will refer to the 8 of spades. He will be very surprised because he has been watching you manipulating the magic deck. He never saw a situation like this. He will react, he will know what's his role on this, and he will play along, believe me. Now, once you did that, you can close the fan, square all the cards, and now you will use this situation in order to make it more spectacular. So you can say things like, you remember your card to the first spectator, please concentrate, and you'll receive vibrations from him that will allow you to understand and arrive to the conclusion what's the card he picked. So please think about your card and think about the color. Can you see if it's red or it's black? What do you think? And immediately the spectator will start playing and he will go, I don't know, I think it's black. Good. Okay, it's black, but black can be clubs or spades. Please concentrate on the suit of the card. So what do you think? Is it spades? Is it clubs? And again, he will play and he will say, I think it's clubs. No, it's spades. And he will say, oh, spades, great. Is he correct? Oh, don't tell me yet, don't tell me yet. And now you go, okay, is a spades card? Is it a picture or a number? And you keep doing this kind of questions that slowly will arrive to the identity of the card. And there is one moment when you already gathered all the information and the spectator will reveal the card and he will say, it's the 8 of spades. And this spectator will be amazed, and so will be all the others, because they have no idea how this spectator was able to find out the chosen card by the first spectator. And that's a very clever use of the fun force and the instant stooge concept. Sixth sense. Here is a routine where the spectator gets to become a magician by immediately repeating with success what you just demonstrated. You will need to have the deck separated. Whether you do it prior to execute the routine or you do a strip out between the finish of the previous trick and this one, this is the situation you need to be in. One packet only with force cards and one packet only with indifferent cards. Once you are in this situation, you will give the indifferent cards packet to the spectator for him to shuffle. And you shuffle the force cards packet. You shuffle, spectator shuffles, you suggest that you swap packs, and you can shuffle again, as well as a spectator who can shuffle. Now, you will ask the spectator to choose any card from this pack. Of course, any card he chooses, it will be the force card. He chooses the card, he looks at it, 10 of hearts, and immediately you spread your pack and you ask him to take the card he freely chosen from anywhere on his pack and put it anywhere on your pack. You both close, and again you swap packs. Now he will shuffle the pack that contains the free selection he made from the previous one, and the spectator shuffles. Now let's see what's the situation here. It's all indifferent cards and one force card which is shorter than the others. This means that you can come here and simply by cutting, you can hear, there's a short card there, so just riffle and it will separate at the short card. So once the spectator finishes shuffling, put it on the table and go, okay, let me cut here, and I believe I found your card. Yes, you did found this card, which is very, very impressive because it shows any card, he placed on the pack, he shuffle, you cut, and there is the chosen card. Now, what you tell him is that now you will reverse roles. and he will perform the miracle himself. In order for that to happen, it's very simple. You say, now you instruct me what to do. And what you did before, now will be him doing. You say, oh, first you tell me to take the card and place it on this pack. And I, now the spectator, will place it anywhere. Now you, as new magician, will tell me to shuffle. And I do shuffle. Then him, as a magician, will cut anywhere and find the chosen card. Well, the reason why he will succeed is because this is the pack where all the cards are the force card. But still, he doesn't know that. So we just instruct the spectator, telling him to do it with confidence. And please believe you are able to cut at the chosen card. He'll get a bit nervous and he will not believe he's going to be able to do it. And eventually he's going to cut. And you can tell him, turn the top card. And when he turns, he cannot believe, because in the same manner you just did it a moment ago, he was now able to find the chosen card. And if you collect the packs in the same way I just did, which is the pack with the force cards on top of the pack with the indifferent cards, you can even casually turn the cards around and spread the top half and say, wow, this was really incredible. You need to tell me how you did that. And in this casual way, you are simply showing that the cards are simply normal. And then you can return the chosen card to the deck. And that's Sixth Sense. Odd or even, plus. This is a great routine, although it will take a little bit of work on your side, but it's very much rewarding. Remember that trick where a spectator would call out even or odd, and you will just, whatever they say, you'll throw on the table a packet that would be with even number of cards or an odd number of cards? Well, you can now take this to the next step, because when they tell you even or odd, you can supply a little bit of extra information that will surprise them. Let's imagine they say even. Before they count, you can say, I know it's not only even, but there are 12 cards there. And then when they count, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards, which is surprising. Well, the reason why you can do that, you already know. It's because your magic deck is in prearranged order, respecting this order we have been talking from the beginning. Now, on the even or odd effect, you just need to cut, and will always be even unless you retain the top card, as we learned before, and now it would be odd. Now let's see how you acquire the information of the exact number of cards. Once you cut, you can glimpse the bottom card. And if it is a 6 of diamonds, you know, because 6 of diamonds is card number 12 from the top, here we have 12 cards. Likewise, if you cut and you glimpse there is a queen of clubs, you know exactly that they are 26 cards, because the queen appears at the position 26. Let's say they choose odd. We know that we need to retain the top card. So now what was originally an even packet of cards, it's now an odd packet of cards. Same thing. You glimpse the bottom card, and you know that the 4 of hearts is card number 10. Because you took one away, you can say, not only there is an odd number of cards, but I'm sure there are 9 cards exactly. And yes, they are 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. And then when you bring the cards back, do not forget to put them all under the top card. Now you can go one step further with this technique, thanks to the way the magic deck was built. Imagine that someone accuses you of being looking too carefully to the deck. And because you look too carefully, you would be able to say, ooh, there is 8 cards here. Well, you know it's 8 cards because it's the 3 of clubs, and 3 of clubs is the 8th card from the top. Not because you are looking closely. And this information you can gather it in a very relaxed way. But if they accuse you of that, you can say, I'm going to cut, but not even looking at the deck. So let's say they say even, and you cut the cards without looking, and you place them on the table. But look, if I do not turn my head, but I can have access to the knowledge of how many cards are here, if I bring this hand into view, and if I slide the top card, I can see now that here it says 6 of diamonds. Well, because I know 6 of diamonds is card number 12, I can calculate, I can say 6 of diamonds is here, it's 12. This, it's 11. Therefore, all the ones I just put on the table are 10 cards. And yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 cards. So please play with this, learn the prearranged order, and play with the deck trying to use all the advantages, both the fact that there is a specific sequence and also the fact that you can always know which card is coming after or which card came before. Sucker. This is a routine that uses an object that was originally marketed as an accessory to use with your iPhone. It would do this, and then this would allow the iPhone to stay on this position so you could comfortably see this tutorial. Well, in the magic world, it was made popular by a magician called John Armstrong. And the routine I'm going to be using it with is very similar to what is known as the Malini card stab. You start by having a spectator choosing a card. Of course, it's going to be the 4th card. Yes, 10 of hearts. Then the spectator shuffles the deck, or you shuffle the deck, but the order is not really important. They can thoroughly shuffle, and actually you will even spread all the cards on the table so they are really shuffled. Remember that by looking at the cards, we can tell whether they are a 4th card or an indifferent card. Once the spectators shuffle all the cards, you can announce that you'll be using the mini plunger to find the chosen card. Now, apparently, you are going to be trying to get one card, slamming the mini plunger on the table several times and not succeeding. And there is one moment where the mini plunger is going to actually suck one of the cards, and hopefully it will be the chosen card. In order to do that, you need to rehearse hitting the table without allowing the plunger to touch the card. Of course, if you do it like this and you call attention, people will realize that the plunger never touches the cards. But if you do it like this, they don't really know. And as you do this, you can also spot one of the cards. For instance, I'm spotting this one here, which is, as we know, the chosen card is the 10 of hearts. Yes, so is this one. And so is this one. Because remember, you can see the center marks. The lighter shade in the center means it's an indifferent card. And the darker shade means it's the chosen card. So you do this in a very unorganized way, announcing that you will try to find the card till the moment where you really hit one of the cards. At this point, you can separate this card, you can throw all the cards to a side and be ready to the big revelation. What was your card? 10 of hearts. Yes, exactly the 10 of hearts. tantalizer. Probably your future spectators are familiar with a trick that is not a very good trick because it's the use of a good technique in a bad way. Probably you already saw someone saying, okay, I'm going to put a card aside from a deck and now please tell me, what do you like the most, the red or the black? And imagine that the card here is the Ten of Hearts. What do you like the most, the red or the black? And they say the black, and then the magician goes, okay, let's eliminate the black. Now what do you like the best, is picture card or number card? And they say number card, and the magician goes, okay, in that case we stay with the number card. And there is no consistency on the choices because you are just finding your way and considering that the choice was to eliminate or to keep, whether it suits you or not. Well, with this trick, that problem is solved at the beginning. So a card gets chosen. Yes, it's the first card, the Ten of Hearts, lost in the deck. You can cut, you can shuffle, all of that, and in a certain moment you announce that you are going to divide the deck into two piles. Well, by doing so, what I am actually accomplishing right now is that here it's all the force cards, and here it's all the indifferent cards. And you continue to do so throughout the entire deck. Of course, it's more interesting if you also find something interesting to be saying as you do this. Now, something that I can use to check I'm doing it right is I can look at the back marks, and yes, all the lighter shade centers are here and all the darker center shades are here. At this moment, you have in this pile all the indifferent cards, and on this pile all the force cards. The audience doesn't know. You simply divided the deck. Now you will ask someone to choose one of these piles. You don't announce if it is to choose to eliminate or to choose and keep in the game. But this is the only time, whatever you decide now, you will keep being the same for the rest of the trick till the conclusion. Therefore, suspicion will not be raised. So, force cards, indifferent cards. Please choose a pile. They don't know why or what for, so they will simply answer, choose a pile. If they choose this one, you immediately say, okay, so from now on, we will always keep the pile you choose. If they choose this one, you say, this one, okay, from now on, I will always eliminate the pile that you choose. And you will do it in a very honest way, because if they choose to eliminate, from now on, you always eliminate. If they choose to keep, you will always keep. So here we go. They say, choose this one, okay, we will eliminate this. And then you can cut in two. Which one do you want? Okay, we choose to eliminate. And now pick one, this one, you eliminate. This one, same thing. Always respecting the first choice. Now, of course, you arrive to a moment where you only have one card at the table. And before you reveal it, you can grab the entire deck, turn it around, and say, hopefully, the card you chose is not in the deck. Hopefully, it's this one. Because realize that here, the top 26 cards are actually all indifferent cards. So you can see more or less till when you can freely open the deck, like this. And you are ready for the big finale. You chose everything, you took every decision, and yet here is your chosen card. And that's Tantalizer. Ultimate coincidence. For this trick, you'll need to start with your deck divided into two packets, one of indifferent cards and the other one all composed by force cards. You can achieve this by a strip out or even dealing out one at a time in two piles the entire deck. Once you arrive to that moment, you give the pile of indifferent cards to one spectator and the pile with the force cards to another spectator, and you ask them to shuffle. they will shuffle both piles. And once they finish shuffling, they should cut the deck and look at the card they cut. So they cut the deck and look at the card. Well, you know that this spectator will always see the force card. But you also know which card this spectator is going to see right now. And you know that because of the markings on the back. And here I can see 8 of hearts. Spectator sees 8 of hearts. Spectator sees 10 of hearts. Once they see the cards, they can shuffle again. Spectator 1 can shuffle. You can shuffle as much as you like. And spectator 2 can also shuffle. And this means that the 8 of hearts of this spectator is now lost in this packet. And the 10 of hearts is lost, but they are all the same. So that's easy to find one that could pretend to be the chosen card. Now, at this moment, what you will do is, once they finish shuffling, you will look to find, to sense where the cards are. So you start passing one card at a time from each packet and both together on the table. As you do this, and you use your showmanship to disguise this action with concentration, you actually are looking at the marks and looking for the 8 of hearts. So you keep passing cards one at a time, maybe feeling them, putting them on the table, and you keep doing it till the moment where you will see the mark that tells you you are in the presence of the 8 of hearts. Eight of spades, 8 of hearts. When you arrive to this moment, you grab the 2 cards and you stop. Remember the situation. Each of them took a free card, any card they want. There was no force, at least for this one. Each of them shuffled. And now what you're about to announce is that you stopped at a specific position and you think these 2 cards are special. You put them aside. And now you will gather these cards in a special way as well. This packet, which has all force cards, will be put on top of this. You collect and you turn it face up. And you can spread a couple of cards. You put this one, force cards, on top of this one, and again you turn it face up and you spread some cards. So the audience sees lots of different cards. They shuffle the cards, kind of. And you are ready for the big revelation, the ultimate coincidence, because the place where you stopped was the exact same place for both piles, and you were able to find the chosen cards of each of both spectators. And that's ultimate coincidence. Memory test. In this effect, you create the illusion that your spectator will be able to memorize a completely shuffled deck in just a couple of seconds. Of course, he will not believe that to be possible, but he will demonstrate otherwise. You ask him to pay attention as you riffle display them to him. You can even give him a second chance. Maybe he could not memorize all of them. Good? Did you memorize them all? Of course, you will react surprised, but you believe that somehow he might not consciously think that he memorized the cards, but his brain, I'm sure, remembers, like it was photographic memory. Now you spread the cards on the table and you ask him to reach for the 10 of hearts. Yes, I'm sure he remembers what was the position. Just do it with confidence. So he looks at the deck and he takes a card and puts it aside. at this moment, two things might happen. He either took the 10 of hearts or he took an indifferent card. Well, you know that because you can look at the back and now I can see, yes, that's a 10 of hearts. If this happens, you stop here. You just say, wow, you are amazing. What a memory do you have? But this might not be the case. There are 50% chance that he takes another card. So let's imagine that once you ask him to take the 10 of hearts, he looks and he takes this one. Well, you know that that card not only is not the 10 of hearts because of the mark, but you also know it is the 3 of clubs because of the other mark. You build on the idea that for sure that's the 10 of hearts, and you ask him to take another one. And you will be using the principle one ahead, because you are one card ahead of him. You will now ask him to look for the 3 of clubs. The card you know, it's already on the table. And he will look to the card and he'll take one. Well, two things might happen. He either take the 10 of hearts and you finish the trick, because then you just, if you see if it's 10 of hearts, you just gather both cards and say, wow, you are amazing. You took the 10 of hearts and the 3 of clubs. I have no idea how you did it. So doesn't he. But of course, something else might happen, which is he does not take the 10 of hearts. So you ask for the 3 of clubs, and he looks around and he takes any card. Okay, he will take this one, for instance. You look at it and you know he didn't take the 10 of hearts. Well, of course, you could continue indefinitely with this, which would make it for a very boring trick and not very impressive. So the spectator took already 2 cards. First, you ask him to take the 10 of hearts, and apparently he took it. Then you ask him the 3 of clubs, and apparently he took it. And you can also say, I remember one of them. And now you see, oh, 9 of hearts. Okay. So you can say, I remember one of the cards. I remember that the 9 of hearts was around, I think was around this area. And you take the 10 of hearts. So you say, oh, 9 of hearts was here. And now you recap. So I asked you to take the 10 of hearts, and you did. I asked you to take the 3 of clubs, and you did. And I also take the 9 of hearts. Let's see if we are correct. And yes, here they are. The 10 of hearts that I ask you to pick, the 3 of clubs I ask you to pick, and the 9 of hearts that I end up picking. And that's memory test. Lucky number location. Here is a fantastic effect using 2 spectators and where the magic happens under impossible conditions. Now, the only thing needed is that you use your magic deck, which is correctly assembled in the prearranged order that we have discussed before. Of course, you can cut and complete as many times as you want, as long as then the last cut you do is the one that locates the king of diamonds, and you place it to the bottom. And now the deck is in this order. What you will do is you will dribble the cards, and this spectator is going to say stop, for example, stop, and now you show this card to him and this one to the second spectator. Now, while you are showing this card to this spectator, you can see that the next one, through the marking, is the Queen of Clubs. You don't know which card is this one, but if the Queen of Clubs is card 26, this one must be the 3 of diamonds. Yes, the 3 of diamonds. So, by looking at the mark here, you can know which card is this one. Here we have Queen of Clubs, therefore 3 of diamonds, card number 24. Now, both spectators know their cards. This one, of course, he has the 4th card. Now we know the second spectator has the 3 of diamonds, which is the card in position 24. You put it together. Again, you can cut and complete as many times as you want. You can false shuffle. You can do all of that. and in a certain moment, you know what you need to do. You just look for the king of diamonds, and once you find it, you cut to it, and you are set. Now, information we have so far. So far we know that every card in an odd position is the card this spectator picked, the 10 of hearts. We also know that right now, on position 24 from the top, is the card that the second spectator looked at, which is the 3 of diamonds. This is what we know so far in relation to the choices and the order of the cards right now. Now, you ask the spectators to come up, each of them, with a free number, any number between 1 and 52, but under a little rule, which is to this spectator that picked the fourth card, you ask that he comes up with a number that is odd. To this spectator, you ask a number that is even. This way, you have already the fourth card covered. Whatever odd number he will say is going to be the correct card. Now, this spectator will say any even number, and we have no control. But let's say it tells us number 18. Well, 18 is close to 24, where his card is, but it's not 24. So we'll need to do something. The best thing to start with is ask first the even number to this spectator, because then you have more time to do your job. So you ask here, and you will say 18. Immediately you start thinking, okay, his card is the 3 of diamonds, which is right now located at position 24. So to put it on 18, you just need to take 6 cards from the top and place them on the bottom. This one, you don't need to worry. So let's think about this one. The spectator that picked the 3 of diamonds, which is in position 24, and now he just said that he wants number 18. If we bevel the deck a little bit like this, so usually the deck would be like that, but if we bevel it a little bit like this, and we use the thumb to lift some cards, immediately, as you can see, you will identify 3 pairs of cards. Here they are, 3 pairs of cards. Well, 3 pairs of cards make up for 6 cards. So you see where we are going. Because you need to pass 6 cards from the top to the bottom, you identify right here 6 cards, and now you just cut the deck and place it on the table by saying, okay, you want, what was the number, 20? 18, yes, 18, and what number do you want, any odd number? And he will say, for instance, 11. Okay, you don't need to do anything now. He says 18, he says 11. Each of them choose a card, and now you are ready to the big finish. 11. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this would be your card. Let's continue. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and you said 18? Okay, card 18. You choose any card? You chose any card? You said 18, you said 11. Well, here we are at the 11th position. It was your card as requested by you. And at the 18th position, there was your card as requested by you. And this is a lucky number location. Total transformation. Here we are at the end of this course on the Magic Deck. And I'm about to teach you effect number 50, total transformation. But before I do that, and I explain you the reason why I kept this for the end, I would like to tell you a couple of things. First, please consider using more than one Magic Decks. it's important that each now and then you switch the force card. Or maybe even during a performance you can use more than one magic decks because you have learned how to switch them in performance. That's one of the things. The other is that you should choose the effects you like the most, the ones you can really master, and also put them in a sequence where you only need to ask the spectator to choose a card at the beginning, and then it's the same card used throughout the 4 or 5 effects. Also, if you'd like to continue research on the Magic Deck, you will find at the end of this tutorial an extensive bibliography that you can use to continue your research and your study. Also, I would love to hear from you. So please consider contacting me, whether it is via Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. I would love to see you performing. So record your performances and send them. I would love to see what you accomplished with the Magic Deck. And if you post them, please do not forget of using the hashtag #TheMagicDeck. And now we go for the final trick. Well, I kept total transformation to the end because it is not my favorite trick. I believe that in a way when you perform it, it gives away the real secret of the Magic Deck, which is basically having a lot of duplicates of the chosen card. But yes, you see it quite often and you should know and use it as you wish. Not the best, but it's spectacular. So, the spectator chooses a card, you show the card. Yes, it's the force card, the 10 of hearts. You can do several effects. You can build a routine of several versions of the Vicious card or any of the other effects that you have learned in this course. And then the only thing you need to do is to cut down, bringing the selection to the bottom. And now remember when we learn the spread on the table? We will do it, but with the deck face up. If you do it with the deck face up, the total transformation will make that every card in the deck will look like the selected card. And that is total transformation. Thank you so much for having been with us. It was a pleasure sharing with you the Magic Deck.